Hello everyone and welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful day and we're all doing well. Just want to quickly say only a small percentage of you are subscribed, so if you do go on to enjoy this video, hit that sub button and you can always unsub in the future if you end up not liking me. So the topic of map reworks in Rainbow Six Siege is quite a big talking point in the community. Many people would rather they just don't rework maps anymore. Sometimes they end up reworking a map and people don't really like the end product and would have preferred the pre-rework version. That's personally how I felt with the house rework, which to this day is still casual only and it was never in ranked, so I don't know why they reworked it. But reworks aren't all that bad. For example, Chalet pre-rework was one of my least favorite maps in the game, and now the current version of Chalet is my favorite, or one of my favorites. I prefer the new version of Consulate way more than the old version. I quite like the Consulate rework, and it is quite refreshing for maps which maybe aren't the best and could use a touch-up. And at this current point in time, after Consulate has been reworked, I think pretty much all the maps are fine. Yes, there's a lot of maps which aren't ranked viable, but just keep them in casual. And I think every map currently in the ranked pool is perfectly playable, and we don't really need to touch them. Rather, we should focus on releasing new maps, and that's what they're doing in Season 4, where you're going to be getting a brand new Portuguese map. Well, I say every map shouldn't be touched, but that isn't true. There is one map I think they should have some changes to it, and that is Villa. Now hear me out, I'm not saying they should completely rework the map. Rather, they should only rework the basement of Villa and leave the rest of the map, since the rest of the map is fine. And people do like Villa. I like Villa. It just got removed from the Pro League map pool, which I guess implies maybe some changes will come to it in the future, but I don't think there's anyone out there saying that Villa is a bad map. However, when you ask someone what is the worst part of Villa, they'll say the basement. Many people see it as useless, and especially in Bomb, the mode which is in ranked, that bottom floor doesn't have a bomb site. So I made a tweet saying, hey listen, I think Villa is a great siege map, but I'm a bit bored of it. We can all agree that the basement floor just doesn't work that well for the map, and there can be some changes coming to it. And I proposed that they simply rework the entire basement, make it a viable bomb site similar to Nighthaven Labs in Oregon, and leave the rest of the map. And many of you agreed with me. Now, when we look at Villa today, after the most recent patch update, you can see that in the basement, there is some development walls there, which have clearly been left as a mistake. Now, could this just simply be something which happened when they changed something else in the update? It's a random bug, they weren't even touching Villa, and this happened to spawn here. That could as well be the case, and I'm not saying they saw my tweet and then instantly started reworking the basement floor of Villa, but it does really get your mind thinking when people have been talking about this, and now we're starting to see some walls down there. This isn't the first time they've randomly changed stuff during updates without telling us. There's plenty of times where walls have been changed. Sometimes there's been walls added and then removed, which was a mistake because it was meant to come later in a rework, but it really does just get your mind thinking, and I think this would be an incredible change to Villa. Because like I said at the beginning, and I feel this way about Oregon as well, both Villa and Oregon are great, maybe even perfect siege maps. They are not bad at any stretch of the imagination. But my issue with them is that I've just played them that much, I'm kind of bored of them. For example, Oregon has the lowest ban rate in the game, which means it's more likely to appear for everyone. That makes sense, it's a great map, but if you're like me and play this game all the time, it gets a bit boring. And when I'm playing Villa, I'm like, yeah, this is a great map, but I'm attacking the same bomb sites. Defenders are pretty much doing the exact same hold every time as well. And let's start to look at the bomb sites which are on Villa. First, you have Aviator and Games. That is possibly the most popular bomb site on Villa. Then you have Statue and Trophy. Again, another very popular bomb site. And then you have the Kitchen bomb site, which is sitting in at number 3. This is typically how people go when it goes to choosing bomb sites on this map. And then you have the one in Library, which I'll be honest, not many people really play. People do play it, but those other 3 usually take priority. Let's compare that to maps such as Oregon and Nighthaven Labs. Many of the times on those maps, you'll see people go into the basement either in the second round or the first round. It's a very desirable bomb site. That's because those bottom floors have structure. Oregon is very simple. You've got 3 staircases and then an exterior push point, and as well as that, you have 3 hatches. Nighthaven, which is possibly one of my favorite basement bomb sites out of any map. I love Nighthaven Labs. That has 3 hatches, 2 staircases, and then 2 exterior push points. That means it's a desirable site setup for the defenders, and as well as this, attackers have many avenues to attack it. Let's compare this to Villa's bottom floor. Firstly, there isn't a bomb site there to begin with, but as well as this, there is a single doorway which touches the outside, 1 exterior soft wall which you can reinforce, and then you've got 2 of these massive barrels which you can't reinforce, and as well as this, you can pretty much shoot them open with bullets alone and make your way in. And instead of this being a desirable bottom floor like the other maps, Villa's bottom floor is kind of just made for people who are trying to prey on someone who isn't droning correctly, or to sort of sneak past someone. I mean, how many times have you seen someone die on Villa because they've ran in the bottom floor, not droned, and got killed by someone hiding in a corner? Vice versa, how many times have you seen people rush Villa just by going through the bottom floor, and since no defender is down there, they've already rushed Astro Stairs. And then you may be thinking, well, there you go, that gives the basement a purpose. And yes, you're not wrong, but you can also use the basement on maps like Oregon and Nighthaven Labs to do stuff like this as well, but that basement also serves another purpose since it's a bomb site on its own. But when Basement Villa just isn't good enough for a bomb site and it kind of only just serves as a purpose for rat players and people trying to hide in corners, then to me that's an issue with the map. And again, I'd like to say don't touch the rest of the map. Potentially add some soft floors in some of the middle floor rooms, such as maybe library or piano. That means you can get some vertical play into the basement, and as well as that, add a few more hatches and maybe move some of the ones which are currently there around if you are going to be changing the room layout in the basement. But could you just imagine that you're playing on Villa and then you're attacking, and the first place you attack is upstairs aviators? But can you just imagine how more interesting Villa would be with a brand new fresh basement with a brand new bomb site, but the rest of the map is still the same, so you don't have to relearn an entirely new map. That map you loved is still there before, but the weakest part of this map has been changed and turned into something fresh and new. Give a new meaning to library, take the bomb out of there and put it in the basement. However, make the floor in library breachable. This still means that library is going to be a point where defenders are going to have to hold, and that is when the vertical players are going to breach from. That means the weakest bomb site, which is library, will get moved into a brand new reworked basement, but library will still be used for this vertical play. If they do this, that means that Villa will have 4 bomb sites which are extremely strong: aviator, trophy, kitchen, and basement. With one relatively small yet major rework, that has just made Villa a map which is 10 times better than it currently is. And maybe with a change like this, it will re-enter the Pro League map pool. Now, how would they go about reworking the basement? I think it should have a double exterior wall similar to Nighthaven Labs and maps such as Consulate, so that gives reason for you to bring a Kaze, Mute, and Bandit to sort of deal with the wall, and that's going to be an entry point for attackers, but it's not going to be the easiest. Heck, they could keep with a Nighthaven Labs theme and have a double wall, and then at the other side of the basement have a single wall. That will give attackers 2 points of entry from the basement, but they still will have to fight with defenders to get that wall open. You could still have an exterior door down there, but do something very similar to bottom floor Consulate with bottom yellow, where there's going to be a hallway you have to enter before you actually get into the bomb site, or even the main hallway of the basement. That means you'll have one door, then 2 breach points, and only have one of these breach points reach a bomb site. The other breach point will have to hit the hallway, and then you'll have to go through there to hit the bomb site. Then, of course, you'll have hatches, 2, maybe 3 at most. Currently, the hatches which are in Villa which go downstairs are in the living room, and as well as that, there's one in kitchen pantry. Since the rooms below would be moved and reworked, we can't really say where the hatch would be right now, but you should have one hatch which leads into the hallway outside the bomb site, and then have one hatch which is directly into the bomb site. Those barrel things I was talking about, I think we should just completely scrap that concept. I mean, it's pretty cool, but if we're going to make this a viable bomb floor, they need to go. We need to have exterior walls which can be reinforced, and to get through them, it has to be gadget based. And then you could just keep the 2 staircases which are already there, bottom red and the one from kitchen. You wouldn't have to add one at main. I think 2 staircases is fine, because if you're going to have 2 exterior breaches, 1 exterior entry point through a door, 2 hatches and 2 staircases, as well as vertical play, then that is going to be enough entry points for the attackers. Would that be too strong for the attackers? No, because that is exactly how it currently is on Nighthaven Labs basement, and defenders can still be extremely successful with a downstairs defense there as well. So I think you should take the strong basement bomb site which is in Nighthaven and keep that concept and put some of it in Villa. Now, of course, this is all just my concept, nothing is confirmed, but it's just the fact that Villa was removed from the Pro League map pool, which also just gave me the idea that they should rework the basement. Now in the latest update, there's some dev walls in the basement. Again, I'm not saying this is because of me, this could just be a simple bug, but it does kind of add a little bit of fuel to the fire. But be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you be opposed to a rework of the basement on Villa? Again, you wouldn't be touching the rest of the map. The basement would just be getting an entire overhaul, and this would kind of just be a breath of fresh air in Villa, which is a good map, but to me is getting a bit boring. And do you think this should be how reworks happen going forward? Rather than touching the entire map, maybe just focus on one bomb site or the weakest part of the map, and in this case, which is the basement. I'm really interested to see how the Portuguese map turns out in season 4. I'm extremely excited for that. So like I said, be sure to let me know your thoughts. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, dislike it if you did not, subscribe if you're new. I shall catch you all later. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.